I'm guessing this will be a very safe zone. Given that I'm within earshot of Defiance, but you never know, do you? Fucking bastard can stay all he wants. I'm not going to pay him. Are you kidding me? Turns out I was sort of correct. Seems quite safe. Welcome to Defiance Base. Bay, but watch yourself in our city, understood? Yes, sir. Just this year. What is it? I'm looking for the Temple of Wedika. Ha, if you say so. It's in the first fires, just west of Crucible Keep. Okay. I have a question for people, in case...
I'd gladly shoulder the load, but the pack won't hold anymore.
In case anyone knows. What is the stance of the ruling class of this place with regards to necromancy?
Hey.
I mean, actually turning people into zombies. Do anyone know? I haven't finished a quest. What quest is it? Lord Raedric's Hold quest. Because I don't know if what he's doing is illegal or not.
Defiance Bay. The city at the heart of the Deerwoods Revolution now seems on the brink of another. Refugees line the streets, homeless and hungry, displaced by White One's legacy, hoping for relief within the city walls, and finding none. Dissidents congregate to protest and to heckle, calling for an end to animancy and the ouster of their duke. The city's militiamen cast fearful looks as they patrol the streets, their hands trembling at the hilts of their weapons. The capital of a country that had not long ago incinerated a god now appears to be a spark away from sharing the deity's fate.
Okay, so people are against animancy, but that's not exactly my question. Apparently Duke supports animancy, but animancy is not the same as necromancy, which is what they are actually doing, as far as I could tell. It was necromancy.
Huh. It used to be a lot less of a mess.
The Arivancers have brought divine wrath upon all, and yet the Duke and his toadies in the Crucible Knights do nothing. We cannot allow the atrocities to continue unchecked. No! Down with animancy. White One's legacy was one warning, Heritage Hill was another. Spread the word, together we will drive the light of animancy from our city. Can I talk to this guy? Apparently I can. Yeah, the problem is that Animans is just speaking with souls and apparently putting souls on dead things, but the Lord Redrick appears to be killing people so he can raise them up as zombies and also experimenting on live subjects. I don't know if that's illegal per se. Okay, Rowan's arms are crossed and his Grim frowned as he watches the gathered protesters. He looks ready for a fight. He sizes you up. New in town, eh? You picked up an interesting time to visit Defiance Bay. All these refugees fleeing the frontier and finding the legacy no better here. It's the Animancers, Magr and Scorchem, and they nest in the city like rats. You mark my words, no? As dozens are gonna put a stop to it. Tell me about the dozens. He taps his chest. We're an organization of interest in Defiance Bay from the dangerous influence of Animancers, the tyranny of aristocrats who support them. We also consider ourselves a militia of sorts, are little more than a flock of preying gnolls in training these days. Just like a militia, the dozens, except for the training and the discipline and the code of honor. His eyes gleam, and we are always looking to expand. The more people see things our way, the better for the state of the country. You have any interest in hearing more? Stop by Arthmet's den sometime. The expedition hall. Lot of free thinkers there. Can set straight all the nonsense the nobles and the Animancers want you to believe. Might even be some paid work for motivated types. Well, we cannot work with these dudes. I'd like to know more about the city. This is the capital of the Free Palatinate of the Deerwood. We started out as the capital of an Aedirin colony, but we booted the Flaccid Scepter from these lands 150 years ago. These days, we're a major port receiving trade and visitors from all over the world, but we, some of us anyway, strive to hold on to the pioneering spirits that earned us our freedom a century and a half ago. The city is divided into 5 districts: Copperlane, First Fires, Ondra's Gifts, Brackenberry, and the Heritage Hill. He ticks each of them on a calloused finger. Tell me about Copperlane. This here is Copperlane. He taps a scuffed boot on the cobblestones. It is primarily a market district, but you also got the expedition hall directly to the north of here, where you can join treks into the wilds. There is also my fellow dozens martyrs, and I tend to meet up with other concerned citizens. He points to a long domed building west and north of your position. And that's the Hall of Revealed Mysteries. Eerie place, you ask me, but we've got the biggest library in the Deerwood. That's where I need to go. I need to find out the laws against necromancy. Kinda laughs. Eerie indeed. It might have been so if Morkith stepped inside. Perhaps we ought to visit Anastasia and see just what mysteries are revealed. Tell me about Brackenberry. A noise of disgust rattles in his throat. The nobility that didn't sail back to Aedir stayed there. Most of the families traced their lineage back to the old imperial times. Other than a lot of has-been nobility, you've got Hadred House, where Lady Webb and her spies operate, and Brackenberry Sanitarium, the main cesspit of animancy in the city. He spits on the cobblestones. Tell me about the First Fires. That's where the revolution started, hence the name. These days it's overrun with politicians and panderers, but we'll take it back someday. That's where you'll find the Ducal Palace, the Baelian Embassy, and the Crucible Keep. He shakes his head. The Crucible Knights were the original freedom fighters in Defiance Bay, but now they're just strutting peacocks with their eyes on fancy titles and their heads up their asses. There's an old temple of Wudika there too, We keep it real nice for her, he winks. Tell me about the gift. Got the name because it was a wetland that was drained back in the Imperial days. Now it is a city district populated by sailors, common folk, and more than a few thugs. But it's a fun place too, if you know where to look. He winks and elbows you. Look for a place called Salty Must, where... Holy shit, that's nasty. Salty Must. Where you're there. Other than that, it's mostly warehouses and abandoned homes. Tell me about Heritage Hill. He shares. It used to be one of the most prestigious districts in the city. Heroes of the Revolution claimed plots out there. Now, an ancient and William Tower and the city cemetery had the best views in Defiance Bay. Attracts richer types these days, lot and patrons, he spits. He glances at the crowd and lowers his voice. You wouldn't have heard, but something happened over there a couple of months ago. The authorities sealed it off and they're keeping their mouths shut. Mark my words, Animans is to blame. Never mind, let's talk about something else. What are you doing out here? He gestures at the crowd, which bustles with angry chatter, trying to get folks to see reason. We're in the midst of a crisis, and instead of purging the nefarious forces from our city, the Duke is granting Animancers dangerous liberties. What do you know about Animancy? It's the study and manipulation of essence, which any sane person will tell you is the pure view of gods. But the adherents at least have the sense to outlaw it, which is the only good thing you can say about them. It's not like magic chanting or the soul readings those ciphers do. It's been around since ancient Enwithian times, which is why you'll see Animancers tinkering with old Enwithian artifacts. Kana raises his fist to cough discreetly into it, half-truths all, but he's an enthusiastic performer, I'll give him that. He shakes his head. Troll is, the Animancers got no idea what half those artifacts actually do, not that they'll admit to it. Farewell.
Margaren's fire casts light in dark places.
Okay. So we're in Copper Square, or whatever the hell the name is. I need to hit the library, I honestly do. There must be a tome on the laws of this land. These calm waters smell faintly of refuse. Holy shit. What the hell is this? The goose and the fox, that doesn't sound like the library to me. By Ceres. Actually had a moderator that was called Viserys. Australian he was. Gordy. Psst, over here, miss. Okay. A young boy watches the passers-by and counts a green handful of coins. His face and arms are smudged with dirt, but except for the grass stains, his clothes are in good condition. As you approach, he blinks and makes a quick furtive effort to pocket his coins. The boy stares at you, his mouth hanging open. After several frozen seconds in silence, he squints and mumbles, "What's that on your head?" He snaps out his trays but continues to watch you with fascination. "Hey miss, want to know a secret?" He wipes his nose on the sleeve. "I know a real good secret." "Really, what is it?" He shrugs and clasps his hands behind his back, kicking a loose pebble. "I just saw folks hiding some real neat things. I could show you where, but Mom and Dad told me not to talk to strangers." His eyes slowly roll up at you. "But maybe you could help me with something, then we wouldn't be strangers." Help you with what? Gordy's voice suddenly rises in a pitch and tempo. The Crucial Knights have these daggers made out of March steel. There's the best steel around except for Durgan steel, which doesn't count because no one makes it anymore. He stops long enough to catch his breath. Anyway, there's this merchant over by the expedition hall, and he has a dagger made of real March steel. His eyes grow large and round. He said he wouldn't sell it to me because I'm a kid, and kids don't know anything about daggers. But that's not true. I know lots about daggers. I know the difference between kinds of steel. I know how the Crucial Knights make them in a forge. I know that the tip can pierce a low gauge scale armor, and that it's good and sharp can cut through bone. See, I know plenty of daggers, and I really want this one, and if you could just get it for me, I'll promise I'll never ever ask anyone for anything ever again. Sounds reasonable, I'll get it for you. Gordy jumps up and down, whooping and hollering. I knew a real adventurer would understand. He points at a large building. There's a big merchant over by Ahmed's den who sells the weapons. He's the one with the dagger. I'll wait here for you. His gap-toothed grin stretches from ear to ear. Did he give me the money at least? Fucking bastard. Huh? Do you know where the hell he sent me? Huh! Brackenberry, okay. What the hell is this place? Looks like either a private home or a dungeon. The jail, possibly. The sewers, it seems.
Margaren's fire casts light in dark places.
A dead initiate. Okay. As you approach the dead man, you can feel the faint traces of his soul lingering, a stunned uncertainty holding it in place. When you near, without warning, the soul hurries toward you, as though you were a solitary light in the dank gloom of this place. Its presence invades your consciousness. You are in a different body now, walking deeper into the catacombs, cloaked in a dark robe with a mask pulled over your face. You're following a familiar path along the canal, heading to a room built around the statue of a figurine wearing a robe much like yours. Others await, clothed in hoods and shadows. Ahead is another figure dressed like you, traveling in the same direction. You don't know his name, and that's how it's supposed to be. Out of the darkness, something monstrous grabs the other figure. You turn to flee, but find yourself face to face with a troll. The panic pounding through your brain is interrupted by a razor-edged teeth and claws. You snap yourself out of the dead man's memory. The corpse lies in damp and grimy ground. His hood and mask are missing, and his clothes are shredded. Well, isn't that great?
Keeping an eye out.
A troll. Well, I'm not going to explore this place. Not right now, at least. I got to find the library. Because Yes, it's almost time to go to sleep. Now look at that. First fires, the Hall of Reveal the Mystery, that's the library. The Mala's house, world map, the arena or the forum or whatever the hell that is. Marketplace, the expedition hall. Okay, let's head to the library and tomorrow I will start exploring all the different places here. Dalton. Okay. This elderly man paces back and forth, taking short, hobbled steps. His gaze is distant, and beneath it are dark rings of many restless nights. He appears to be having a conversation with someone who isn't there. On the way you fought, cutting down two at a time, we shared quite a victory, you and I. Who are you talking to? The man looks at you, startled. Oh, by the flame. For just a moment I thought I heard hair. He puts a hand on his chest, catching his breath. What troubles you? Just the memories of my youth in the North Watch Rangers. Trials and adventures from a lifetime ago. He shakes his head. Of late, the memory of lost battles and fallen friends has been especially vivid. Tell me about those memories. It's been nearly 60 years. We were known throughout the Deerwood then. We thought we would adventure together forever, collecting coppers and inspiring songs. The wrinkles around his eyes deepened. That was until we faced Heldic of Thane. He was a wizard whose experiments in necromancy left a trail of bodies, some reanimated, from Solace Vale to Midwood. We tracked him as he fled toward the alien republics, catching him just west of the lake in Drowned Tomb. So it is possible necromancy is actually a crime. But that was 60 years ago. Much can change in 60 years. We need to find right now if the authorities considered it illegal or not. We were fools. Seasoned as we were not prepared for his foul magic. Our numbers were nothing against his power. A wiser man would have ordered a retreat, not me. By some curse of the gods I was knocked out, and when I awoke, my rangers, my Rowena, were all dead. He holds empty air in his arms. And now you hear this woman's voice? I know this sounds like an old man's madness, but I hear her, a voice just over my shoulder, calling me in my dreams. At night, I see her wandering the catacombs beneath the city, trying to escape. Foolish as it sounds, I can't shake the idea that she's somehow down there, waiting for me. I am ventured below, though it damn near cost my life. He hesitates. But I have the warrior I was in my youth. I'll search every grave and rat hole. As it is, I'm stuck with this feeble body and the agonizing notion that my love is somehow down there, beyond my help. I'll search the catacombs for any sign of her. Tears spring from the old man's eyes. There's an entrance to the southwest of here, on the other side of the canal. He sniffs and wipes his eyes. You're truly a gift from the gods. If there is anything you can find of her, tell me about it, I guess.
I cannot keep up this pace.
Justiciar. The first fires. Yeah, that's something I really need to find. A historian, maybe the historian will know about that. Scrivener. Okay.
All these pages serve no better use than fuel for the fire.
Holy shit. Let's
The
talk to him.
dozens. Pretty sure you won't find one among them who stood within 100 miles of that bridge when the Godhammer went off. Too bad, too. Assume there'd be less of them.
Godhammer? That's what they call the bomb that blew up Waden's with. I don't know much about it other than that. Anything that kills a living god? Guess you gotta name it. Why do they call themselves the Dozens? Was 12 Dirwoodians stood outside Halgot Citadel waiting for Waidwen to cross the bridge there. They had to hold him there long enough for the Godhammer to detonate, so that's what they did. What do you have against them? Oh, nothing serious, nothing I don't have against a lot of folks anyway. The Dozens, they like to take things into their own hands. Gets ugly sometimes. We don't have any gilded veil, but they would be right at home there. They picked that name so they could do what they wanted and feel like it was right. Got nothing to do with honor or sacrifice. They like to invoke Magran too. When they especially want to feel right, somehow I don't think she would be too impressed with that lot. I'm sure she would like to set them on fire anytime they use her name, but the gods probably got rules against that kind of thing. Surely Magran has worthier followers. She draws all types, seems to me, more than she would like, I'm sure. Warmongers, fire lowers, size, fixed briefly endurance. But she does do better than that. Plenty of good soldiers said their prayers to her when we were marching toward the front lines. Have to expect those are the types she would prefer to talk to. Let's continue. Good idea. But sadly, that's it for today. Because I actually have to sleep. I wish I didn't, but... What can you do? Biology always triumphs. So, thank you very much for watching. I hope I'll see you tomorrow when we, I guess, read. I hope there are books, loads of books. That seem like there are a bunch of them. I need to find out if necromancy is illegal. If I cannot find it here, I'll search in the web. I would prefer if I find an in-game answer. For all intents and purposes, it's the same shit. But, okay, goodbye, Sander, S3X, RJ. Have a good night. And until next time, long live Merwold. Goodbye.
Margaret's fire casts light in dark places.